I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to listen to my delegation. This delegation is heavily censored by YouTube, and I try to make it available to as many people as possible so parents can see what is happening in the materials that is made available inside our schools. If you can please share and help me overcome the censorship, that will be very much appreciated. Furthermore, I have cut this delegation interruption short in the middle, and I've also cut out the questions. If you would like to see the full interactions, you can view this full delegation on my YouTube channel. Link is in the description. Once again, if you can take the time to subscribe to the channel, I follow the school board closely, and I will let you know about the policies and procedures that the school board has in place. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy. Hello everybody, it's great to be back again. It's been a while since I've seen you last. Just wanted to start off with a quote from the open letter. Our goal has never been to censor or misinform students, parents, caregivers, families, or community members. And I really hope this is true because I continue to notice social media posts and videos with censored, limited, hidden, and closed comments. YouTube meeting video history is still removed, not yet up. Elected trustees block people on social media from accessing posts and commenting. Elected trustees. The meeting on January 13th summarizes a constant theme of not including parents, students, or addressing their concerns. I'm talking about the closure of the integrated support program without consultation. No student feedback or consultation done for French immersion program, the Roberts Rule delegation about board members voting without proof, trustees instructing a delegate to take appropriate measures regarding library book concerns and speak to the school's principal. I've done all of this. I've spoken to the school principal. I've spoken to the librarian, and they all say they cannot do it. And this is the problem. Always getting pushed in different directions, always getting go here, never finding a solution. What responsibility is this board willing to take, and why are you censoring concerns? I have itemized my concerns as a parent in an email, and you have still not replied or even disclosed who is behind the open letter. The surveys have not been publicly released. And these surveys show that children disclosing their sexual orientation were age 4 and up, not grade 4 and up, like we were told. You intimidate parents on concerns by labeling opposing discussion as hate speech. January 23rd, leadership said, "We all issued the letter. Can staff involved please stand?" While leadership remained seated. So who is interested and who's accountable for this? Who is interested in knowing the sexual orientation and gender identity of my daughters? June 15, 20th, 27, 2022. Social media posts applicable to all kids in the Waterloo District School Board, including my daughters, celebrating community members publicly disclosing their sexuality. Their sexuality or my daughter's sexuality is nobody's business. Our staff, special guests, or community organizations invited in the school to have a discussion with my daughters about their sexual orientation. Waterloo District School Board Policy AP 1235, page 4, I've mentioned it before. A school should never disclose a student's gender status to the student's parents without the student's explicit prior consent. January 30th, leadership said, "I have shared information talking about the high rates of depression and suicide among some community groups." If this is the case, and suicide is elevated for these groups, why does the school implement policies that keep parents out of the equation? Regarding age appropriateness, you keep doubling down on this. Here's a book that I did not see on the Trillium approved book list by the government. However, this book has been approved by your robust CREW method system and deemed acceptable for students. You asked me to trust your process. So how many people approved this book and deemed it age appropriate? Now, because you keep voting down to look into this. I'm going to read this book because you deemed it appropriate. Nobody did it. You did it. This is the kind of material that my daughters are going to be exposed to when she gets a little bit older. The book is called Identical, and this is a scene between a dad and his 7-year-old daughter named Kaylee. He lifted her gently, sat her down on the bed beside him. Then he opened the snaps on the fly of his flannel pajamas. It stood up, stiff as stalagmite. How much does Daddy love you? Show me you love me too, touch it. He closed her hand around it. That's right, that's right. His voice rocked in rhythm with his body. I don't know what it meant, only that it made Daddy happy, and I wanted to make him happy. When Daddy finished, he brought his face to Kaylee's hair and wept. Kaylee was confused at his tears and sticky stuff icing her hands. Didn't I love you good enough, Daddy? Oh, little girl, don't you know how beautiful you are? No one is as lovely as you, not even your mother. She tried to sit up, but Daddy pushed her gently back down against the mattress. Just stay like that for Daddy. I want to teach you something new. He lifted her nightgown, rolled it over her belly, coaxed her thoroughbred legs apart. She squirmed a paltry protest. Don't move. This won't hurt. You'll like it, I promise. He kissed the length of her torso down to her small naked V. Daddy taught her something new, something awful, worse, something wonderful.
Stop for a moment. Point of order. Trustee Woodcock. There is a point of order across the gallery to be quiet. Pressing a point of order. If you cannot be quiet, I will ask you to leave. Trustee Woodcock, your point of order.
Point of order.
Trustee Woodcock. Thank you. Trustee Woodcock.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My point of order is I'm concerned that the reading, I appreciate the reading of this, if that's what the delegation wants to do. However, I'm concerned that it is against our human rights policy and under the causing harm to some of our students, people watching, and frankly, that's my point of order against the human rights, our human rights policy.
Okay.
If I suggest that if he has more of his delegation that other than reading from this book, I'd be happy to hear it.
What is the name of this book? What is the name of the book? Identical. Thank you. Okay. How much? Okay.
Point of information.
This is a question. Just a minute, Trustee Wasim, or sorry, I think it was Trustee Sorer. Sorry, one moment. This is a quote from a book, Identical. How much longer is in this quote? Okay, I'm going to let you finish your quote, but I do need to deal with another point of order, and I have a point of information. So if you can pause for a moment. Trustee Watson, you have a point of order?
I can wait.
So you don't have a point of order? No? Okay, thank you. Trustee Sorer, you have a point of information?
Yes, thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. I was just wondering if the delegate could confirm the author of Identical.
We'll ask that in the in the clarification questions, okay?
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you. That's okay, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna let you wrap up, and can you just hold a second? Okay. Okay, go ahead.
I'll continue with the quote. Something every little girl should know the joy of, though she shouldn't learn it from her daddy. Kaylee was used to Daddy's visits, but that night was something different. There was nothing gentle about it as he threw her back on the bed. Please, Daddy, no. When Daddy was done, she cried. On January 17, 2022, a delegation was shut down on book age appropriateness. These books are still available in kindergarten to grade 6. One book with themes of sexual discussions among minors, and the other involves trivializing medical procedures. Later that year, April 13th, leadership is seen on social media posts surrounded by these very books. January 30th, leadership said regarding all books, sexual orientation and gender identity themed, and I quote, are age appropriate regardless of what age students are. Why are books available in the school system with themes of pedophilia, incest, rape, molestation, controversial graphics, racial and suicidal subjects, hate, drug and alcohol abuse, sexual nudity, and obscene sexual activity? Why are my daughters constantly encouraged to discuss or disclose their sexuality, orientation, or gender identity among fellow students or staff? Why are staff or community members discussing or disclosing their sexuality or gender identity to my daughters? Why do third-party visitors, educators, speakers, or organizations in the school encourage a discussion with my daughters or in the presence of my daughters to disclose their sexual orientation or gender identity? Why is the education material or reading material distributed and made available to my daughters that encourages discussion or disclosure of sexual orientation or gender identity? It is nobody's business. Why does the board and leadership have policies, procedures, guidelines, materials, practices in place with punishments to silence opposing concerns regarding the constant child sexuality focused, and even working together with government-funded organizations to go as far as celebrate and facilitate medical mutilation and sterilization of children before they have a chance to start a family? When will the school shift the focus from sexuality and political nonsense to teaching academics? And once again, I ask, why is the board continuing to openly facilitate child abuse? Thank you.